Welcome to the BetMoorSports podcast. I'm your host, Avery Fuller, with my co-host, Stephen Trotman Bay, a.k.a.
The Guru.
Yes, sir. And today is a great day. It's a great day in the BetMoorSports studios because it's fight week. We got more NFL, but we got NFL to talk about. We got all types of stuff that took place over the weekend and all the drama that exists in the NBA. So let's get the party started. But before we start, we're bringing verses back. And this week, our verses is going to be based on Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss. Two of the most elite, probably 2 and 3 under Jerry Rice. But two of the most elite receivers in the league. Guru. From what I got Calvin Johnson spent 9 years in the league. Randy Moss spent 14 years. Randy Moss was Comeback Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year. He went to 2 Super Bowls but lost both of them. Pro Bowl 7 times, All-Pro 4 times. Calvin Johnson, on the other hand, had 0 Super Bowl appearances. He was in the league for 9 years. He led the league in receptions 1 year and in receiving yards 1 year, which Randy Moss did either. He was All-Pro 3 years, and he was a Pro Bowler for 6. So my question to you, Guru, is who do you think had a better career?
Randy.
Think so?
Yeah.
What?
I just think Randy was a far better receiver. What made Megatron great was his size and his speed, but Randy was just, at that size, too fast.
Okay.
He was a matchup. Both was matchup nightmares.
Right.
Calvin Johnson's career was too short, in my opinion. And he played in Detroit.
That's the difference maker. I mean, I can't say that Randy Moss accomplished more than him.
No.
Because, they both, neither one of them got a Super Bowl.
Right.
But during his short 9 years, he's accomplished more from a performance perspective, as far as if you calculated it based on the amount of time. So, for instance, Randy Moss got 5 years more than him?
Kind of, sort of. You can't count those years in Oakland.
Okay.
He
was
really
only
was
in Oakland for what, a year?
taking years off in Oakland.
Yeah, he was. But I think that in the time frame, if Megatron had the same time frame,
right,
then his room for accomplishment would have been greater. But he did lead the league in receptions a year. He led the league in receiving yards a year. He had 1 less Pro Bowl and 1 less All-Pro than Randy Moss. But if he would have stayed for 5 years, you think he would have got another one? Maybe 2?
He was kind of running out of gas at the end of his career.
Okay.
He wasn't the same Megatron as he was early in his career. So we don't know, to be honest. Then, like I say, he played in Detroit.
Right. So a 9-year in, Randy Moss was pretty much already where.
Oh, yeah. 9 year Randy Moss, and Randy Moss came in the league lighting the league on fire.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, listen, it could go either way, but for me, it's leaning towards Megatron. Not that Randy Moss was a better receiver, because I think he was a better receiver. I just think Megatron had a better career. In other news, NBA Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver has decided to sell the team. He is pretty much selling this based on the amount of pressure that he's getting externally. And he actually said in one of the letters that the world is unforgiving. What you think about him selling the team now and those words? Because he I don't know what he's thinking about right now.
Anything he can think about to try to keep his team, man, but he need to go.
Yeah.
That stuff is unacceptable in not only the league, but really in society. And the world's no place for it.
100%.
Especially in professional sports, where the whole world is watching. So
it's weird that people of power make these awkward decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The awkward decision to feel like you can do or say whatever you want, and then when the circumstance come to light, which for him it was 18 years and running, had nobody said nothing.
Right.
And it's like, bro, for 18 years you've been doing this? That's crazy. And actually, I semi-faulted the league. They should have been found this out.
Right.
Like,
I think they did speculate. Remember they were speculating a few years ago about some stuff that he was doing that he ain't had no business doing?
Right. It was because of one dude that came on ESPN and questioned it.
Right.
And now that dude is on ESPN when they on the NBA show when they talking about Robert Sarver, which I think is weird too.
You get a bankroll of money.
I guess you got to do what you got to do to get money, right?
Yeah, you get a bankroll of money and go on about his business and still be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That he was doing, because I don't think the way he feels is gonna change, because it's no longer an owner in the NBA. But we won't hear about it because who will he be?
Right.
Nobody will care.
And it's crazy because right now he's not worth $1 billion. But
you sell that team,
he gonna be worth $1 billion. You know, so I guess it might have been in the plans to begin with. I don't know. Anyway, MLB, those Yankees put in that work last night, man. Aaron Judge, he hit 60th, his 60th home run. And that wasn't even the highlight of the game. The highlight of the game was at the end of the game. Going to the ninth inning, down 4. Aaron Judge hit a home run, the 60th.
Yep.
Then the bases get loaded, and then Juan Carlos Stanton come in and hit a walk-off. What you think of that game?
Excellent game, man, especially if you're a Yankee fan such as myself. You know, I think it's time that they get right.
Right.
You know,
100%.
as we head into the playoffs, we've been playing kind of up and down baseball, but Aaron Judge is having a phenomenal season. Right now he's on pace to be the Triple Crown winner. You know,
which is big.
Yeah.
That's
not only is he gonna lead the league in home runs, he's looking to lead the American League in batting average, RBIs, on base percentage, a whole bunch of other stuff that he's doing, and he's gonna rewrite the record books when it come time to get paid next season.
That's crazy, and we could potentially lose him.
I don't really see that happening. It's a possibility, but very slim.
Right. Yeah. I sure hope not, but I just know I watched him get interviewed by a kid, and the kid asked him something. He avoided the kid.
Yeah, I seen that.
So
he kind of said it's a whole bunch of great Yankees on the team, so don't be upset if I'm not on the team.
Yeah, exactly. All right, football. It was a eventful Sunday for sure, and Monday. One of the things that stood out was Mike Evans. Mike Evans was suspended for a brawl. I believe Marshawn Lattimore was talking. Him and Tom Brady was talking trash, and he ran out and pushed him. And when he pushed him so hard he went off his feet. And I guess they felt like he could have got injured, so it warranted a suspension. What you think of that?
Yeah, they need to suspend him because he's frustrated because of the fact that he really can't do much with Marshawn Lattimore on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he just played out his frustrations to me wrong.
It's weird because you're playing football, right? And so I would have seen it no more than a personal foul. You know what I'm saying? Personal foul, penalty, and then you move on.
Right.
They ejected him. I can even see him getting ejected based on the maliciousness behind it.
Right.
But then you move on. You don't suspend them and
you got to set an example, man. There's no place in the NFL for that.
That's an emotional.
That was kind of what Patrick Beverly did to Chris Paul. People get under your skin, you losing, or at that time they was tied 3-3, but you know he really wasn't doing much. So you need to pay for your frustration. If you can't keep your frustration in check as a grown man, especially a professional making millions of dollars and playing on national TV, they need to set an example. This ain't hockey. It's football.
I'll tell you one thing. He played it smart because he got Marshawn out of there.
Yeah. As long as he left, the whole game changed.
Yep, whole game changed, and Tom Brady got a victory over a team who he don't usually get victories on.
Right.
Well, mission accomplished.
Good job, Mike Evans.
All right, let's talk about the Eagles, man. The Eagles they play such a great job. They play such a great game against Minnesota, even though I know Minnesota played a shit game. But what you think about Jalen Hurts now, as compared to last year, and do you think that he got what it takes to move the Eagles?
If the offensive coordinator keep drawing up plays like that, where everybody running wide open, it's gonna be hard for him to fail. Because now he got a bunch of wide open receivers. They mixing up the run well. His ability to run is frightening to defenses and defensive coordinators. They got A.J. Brown. That was the biggest addition because they got somebody who is really physically a dog.
You're 100% right. They got A.J. Brown and forgot about Devontae Smith. but I think it'll become easier for them to work him in.
Right. I don't think it matters as long as they win.
Yeah.
Devontae don't seem like a selfish player.
No, he definitely got Southern hospitality in his blood. I can tell that just from the way he talked.
Right.
But yeah, I think the Eagles, I ain't gonna say they for real. I'm gonna just say they're far improved from last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you far improved, then the chances are it's a higher than normal chance for you to win your division.
Well, I had picked them to win the division anyway, so hopefully they keep right on. And
you never know at this point. I mean, I probably rule the Commanders out because
Commanders trash.
see that. But you got the 2-0 Giants, you got the 2-0 Eagles, and then the 1-1 Cowboys that people don't think can do much, but showed up for a big win last week. What you think about Joe Burrow and his plight right now? Right now, he is dealing with a ton. It looks the same as last year. Truthfully, no blocking whatsoever. But
they said they revamped the line.
Yeah, they made it worse.
He's still on pace to be the most sacked quarterback in the NFL.
It's terrible. It seemed like he hiked the ball and everybody just stand up. He just run for his life instantly. It don't make sense, man. I think it's messed up what they doing, but they're gonna definitely create a problem if they don't get it fixed. But I did read that he done canceled all his social medias.
Yeah, that helps.
You
need to counsel the linemen social media too.
Absolutely. So one of the games that stood out to me, of course, I'm a San Francisco fan, but Trey Lance got hurt. Trey Lance ankle was hanging, and it was a tough sight to see, but it's a gift and a curse all at once. You know what I'm saying? They found an excuse to put Jimmy G in the game.
That really wasn't an excuse. I mean, injuries are part of the game.
Yeah.
And they ran the man into the ground already early in the season, and it's a lot that Trey Lance got to learn in this league.
And one thing he don't do is slide.
Right, and you running over the middle like you're a fullback or a tight end. You're a quarterback. Like, that ain't the place to be running without thinking about sliding.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Jimmy G come in the game and he run. I was like, bruh, if you don't sit down somewhere, bruh, like, just throw it. Just throw it. But I think that what do you think it does for San Francisco? You think it make us better or worse?
Yeah, it makes you better. I mean, I can't see you getting worse with the guy that you already had in the fold that's proven.
Right.
He's proven. He's not somebody that isn't proven. So I think it improves the team and their chances to go a little bit further than with Trey Lance.
I even heard chatter that some people in the locker room felt like they had a better chance to win now.
Of course. Like I say, the man that took you to the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game.
Right.
And the vets on the team, they want to win now. They're not waiting to see what this young guy can become. They want to win now. They feel like they got the roster in place. I know if I was on a team, I would want Jimmy G to be quarterbacking because, like I said, he's proven.
Right. And, I mean, I guess that's what matters the most. You know?
Right.
What does your rap sheet look like? All right. Another game that stood out, Buffalo. Buffalo played a pretty good game on Monday night.
They look like world beaters.
They did. Stephon Diggs had 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards receiving. It was.
And they ain't played the fourth quarter.
I didn't even know that. I don't know what's going on, but if you had to pick a team that could beat them, Who you think will be the team?
Kansas City, Philly, the Rams, if they see them again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a few teams out there that kind of got the firepower that they got.
Right. Okay.
You know, it's all about any given Sunday putting it together at the right time on the field. Miami can give them a run for their money, whom they see this week in Miami. So that should be fun. Although Miami hasn't beaten them in like 7 straight times.
Yeah, but Tua's confidence is through the ceiling right now.
Even Baltimore can probably compete with them.
I can see Baltimore for sure.
You just got to make some adjustments on the defense.
Yeah, that collapse on Sunday. What does that say? Was that more of Baltimore or Miami?
A combination of both. You know, Baltimore kind of let their foot off the gas. You know, they went into the fourth quarter up 21 points, and I guess they thought that they was just going to cruise to victory because Miami had done very little on offense the entire game. Like, one time it was 28-7, then it was 35-14. So you go into the fourth quarter with all that firepower and you only got 14 points, a lot of times it causes you to relax.
Right.
And when you got all that speed that Miami got, they could they can get back in the game with one 80-yard bomb.
Easy.
And then come back with another 80-yard bomb. And it don't matter who they throwing it to. Both of them, once they get in the open field, you're not catching them.
Tyreek Hill finished with 11 receptions, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Jalen Waddle finished with 11 receptions, 171 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You think that's sustainable?
Yeah.
That's crazy. If that is sustainable, if they can maintain that amount of production.
Because you got to think what Jalen Waddle does for the cheetah. Jalen Waddle operates the middle of the field just like Travis Kelce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except he got a 4.24 when he catch the ball. Mm. So it kind of – you can't just let him run across the middle and don't account for him. So if you see him run across the middle and he gets the eyes from the safety's going to bite. And then Tyreek Hill just going to run over the top. And then the same thing if you do it the opposite side and you run Tyreek Hill across the middle or on a short drag route and you send Jalen Waddle over the top.
One way or another, somebody going to be up.
Right. All they got to do is be able to protect the quarterback.
So they're pretty much just going to keep these DBs honest.
You better know it because if they even, they leaving. You can't check them man to man. You got to play a zone. And like I say, they got people that'll chew up the middle of the zone. And if they catch the ball within the open space, that 5-yard catch going to turn into 15, 20, 30, 40, maybe 60, 70-yard touchdown.
That's crazy that it's like that. It's just crazy the amount of firepower that these teams got. Can you recall a season when you had multiple teams with this type of firepower?
No, not since probably about the 90s. That's
crazy. All right, let's talk about Patrick Mahomes because right now I got Patrick Mahomes as the best quarterback in the NFL.
It's not a bad pick.
Do you think that he'll need more in order for them to get to where they need to go?
No. I think he got enough offensively.
Okay. All right, so he got enough right now that based on his skill set, he can literally lead them back to the promised land.
Yeah.
Huh. Sounds like a plan. Hey, all I know is I would rather play Kansas City than Buffalo.
Right now, yeah, because Kansas City got to shore up some things on the defensive side, but offensively, they don't look like they're missing nothing.
Right. Pittsburgh and Cleveland defensive back Joe Hayden, he retired.
Mm-hmm.
You think he's a Hall of Famer?
He had a great career. I don't know. He had a hell of a name in the league for a long time, but like I said, that Hall of Fame class is a different type of class when you're talking about putting people in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Like, I don't think he's done anything notable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He got some personal accomplishments, and his name rang bells, but on paper, like, is it Hall of Fame worthy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's up for discussion.
It's definitely up for discussion. All right, let's take our first break, man, and we got more coming up. More NFL. We got some boxing. We got some rank 'em. BetMoorSports. We back. Welcome back to the BetMoorSports podcast. I'm your host, Avery Fuller, with my co-host, Stephen Troutman Bay, a.k.a.
The Guru.
And we are back again talking about this week, or last week, week 2 in the NFL. Some of the games that stood out was Cleveland and the Jets. The Jets got a win. They had to come back. Nick Chubb scored a touchdown when they feel like he shouldn't have. I don't feel like that's why they won personally.
Mm-hmm.
What you think of?
Man, the Jets won the game with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco threw for 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, Joe Flacco went in.
He looked like the second coming of Joe Montana in the second half.
Oh my gosh, I don't think he's gonna be able to do that again.
Nah, it was a good.
he don't put everything he had.
It was a good look, Joe, but I don't think he got that in the tank no more.
Yeah, that's crazy. And he threw for 307.
But Cleveland defense just collapsed. And I think Cleveland made a mistake scoring too early.
Yep.
2 times they did it.
Oh wow.
You know, just
it's crazy because I feel like that loss is an unaccounted for loss. Like I think they had it on the books as a W.
Right.
You know, in preparation for Deshaun Watson's return. Even though I think the game against week 1 game against Carolina, I don't know if that was on the
for a Pfizer win.
Right.
You got to steal everyone you can steal in the league, man, especially when you playing without the best hand in the deck.
Exactly. And that's what I feel like they didn't capitalize on. They could have been 2-0.
And both teams played with their backup quarterback, and Joe Flacco just, did what needed to be done at the end.
He showed up, but you know who else showed up?
Who was that?
The goddamn Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions showed up.
The hard knock Lions
against the Washington Commanders. They ended up winning 36-27, but at one point they was up 22-0.
Poor Washington, man. Poor Carson Wentz. Poor Commander fans. Like, Commanders really supposed to be on too.
Which is
Jacksonville let them get away, but Detroit said not so fast, my friend.
That is crazy. And then in that game, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he led the game in rushing and receiving. Both, it's the weirdest thing ever. But Detroit did what they had to do to win.
Yeah, I told you Detroit scrapping, man. Detroit 2-0 against the spread this season.
That scrappiness is a big difference maker.
And they laid points this week and covered.
Yeah. Wow. That is it's crazy because I would have never thought, like, they score over 60 points together. The Commanders and the Lions. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I had it over. I definitely had it over. I loved it over from the beginning to the end. That was one of my 5-star bets on BetMoorSports.com was that game over.
That is interesting to say the least.
But I seen that the Jets, Jacksonville, and not Cleveland, the Jets, Jacksonville, and Detroit won a game on the same day for the first time in years.
That is not good.
That's crazy when they keep that as a stat.
I don't know what kind of stat that is.
Who has time for all that? Like, let's find out the last time all these teams won a game on the same day.
Yeah, like.
And then they said it was the first time in a long time that the Giants, Jets, Yankees, and Mets won a game on the same day.
Wow.
You know, that used to be one of my 4-pick parlays back in the day. If I see all 4 of them playing, I put a New York ticket in just because.
Hey, that don't sound like a bad idea if you know your teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As long as you know your squads. And speaking of New York, New York played Carolina.
Mm.
Um,
You talking about the 2-0 Giants?
yeah, the 2-0 Giants against the 1-1 Baker Mayfield
I'm not a
team.
bad day one no game.
Oh,
They
lost.
on too.
Oh, you're right. They on too because they
Yeah.
lost to Cleveland. I just said that to them.
They done lost 8 in a row, straight up and against the spread.
Good Lord.
And this week it should be 9.
Who they got this week?
James Winston in New Orleans
Okay. Oh yeah. That should be.
should be, but
Well,
they got to play the game.
listen. The shocker though is New York being 2-0. 2-0.
You shocked about that?
You not?
No,
Look,
we ain't really played nobody.
I'm just saying, like, even though y'all might feel like y'all ain't played nobody, y'all made mistakes, and y'all can fix them with enough time to, you know what I'm saying?
Coaching.
Exactly.
To show you a difference, because we lost a lot of close games under the old regime, and we win in those games, which is promising. It makes you a little excited, not overly excited as a fan, but to know that your coach can keep you focused enough to come in and win a game in the fourth quarter, a grounded out game, it says a lot, you know. And we're doing this without both our defensive hands, both our pass rushers.
Yeah.
I ain't played the game yet.
That's the other thing, you know. Who's it? The rookie Thibodeau?
Yeah.
He ain't even hit the field.
He ain't hit the field, so we ramping him up for this week. And then, you know, we got a bunch of no names in the mix. But if you look at Baltimore's defense and Martindale, what he did with them, they was a bunch of no names on defense.
Yeah.
And he kept them competitive. He made a lot of good defensive adjustments. And like I say, we got some good coaching this time.
Well, hope it can be maintained. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll be what y'all need to get over that hump. You know, get back in the mix.
I think we still a few players away.
Because, I mean, y'all don't really got a true number one receiver.
We do, but he's just a bum. And, you know, and it's funny because you fell out the good graces with the coaches.
Yeah.
That man played 2 snaps last week.
He got
Then cleaned out his locker
He cleaned out his locker?
like an old biatch.
Well, that sounds like he might be getting passed around.
Man ain't going nowhere. Who gonna trade for him? And if we cut him, he too big of a cap hit to cut for real. Like, man might cost, man, like, I think he's the highest paid cap hit at the receiver position, which is crazy.
That is crazy because
people paid that man all that damn money.
His production is at the bottom of the barrel.
Then Kadarius Toney can't get on the field and stay on the field. So I don't know what they're doing. As long as they keep winning, I don't give a damn about none of that.
Right, I got you. Matt Jones showed up in the game against the Steelers. He finished with 252 yards, but Nelson Aguilar, he was, I guess, the star. He mossed on somebody, and
Yeah, I saw that.
it was quite pretty. But he also had 110 receiving yards.
Good job.
Any takeaways from this game?
Nah, Bill kind of got Mike Tomlin number, you know, so it was expected. You know, I had the game under, but I did like New England. All the signs pointed towards New England winning and covering. Like I said, he kind of outduels them, you know, when he sees them. And Pittsburgh got some question marks at the quarterback position. You know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They need to make a change. They need to make a change soon.
Quick.
If they don't make a change soon, Tomlin is going to have his first losing season. I hate to say it that way.
Make a change, Mike. We don't want to see you go down like that.
Please do. The Battle of the Trash took place as well.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah. Jacksonville took on Indianapolis. And the Colts is so trash, they lost to Jacksonville 24-0.
That's 9 years in a row they done lost down there.
That is.
I know they watched the good run of Swami when I told them they ain't won a game down there since I got released from the penitentiary. That was 2014.
That is.
I think it might be since I got released they can't win.
You think it's the weather?
No, I think it's me.
Okay. Makes sense now, you know. All right. We spoke on this earlier, but let's talk about it. Baltimore and Miami. Miami made the comeback for the ages. But in the same instance, Lamar Jackson, he had a game for the ages.
Outstanding game.
You know,
And I had him on my fantasy bench.
you did, bruh.
And I still won by probably 40 or 50 points.
You want to trade him?
No, he ain't going nowhere. And Baltimore is the only thing that blew up my ticket. I had Baltimore on a hell of a same game parlay. I had Baltimore on a hell of a 6-pick, and Baltimore was up 35-14 in the fourth quarter. And lost. And I had them on the money line. I ain't even have them laying no point.
You know how disappointing that was.
Oh man, very. I wanted, but they weren't playing in Baltimore. They were playing in Baltimore, and I was right there in Maryland at the casino, and I wanted to drive to Baltimore and slap the hell out of everybody on the coaching staff and the team, offense and defense. Everybody except Lamar.
Well, that is so crazy. Tua finished that game with almost 500 yards.
On fire.
469, 6 touchdowns. I know whoever had him in fantasy. I had a dude who had him and Jalen Waddle in a fantasy, and Jalen Waddle finished with like 47 fantasy points.
I had Lamar and Jalen Waddle. I just had Lamar on the bench. I couldn't beat never anyway for the high score. So we're going to just keep winning our matchups.
Hey.
1-0 every week.
1-0 every week. I like how that sound. The Rams took on Atlanta, and it was almost an epic game. Like Marcus Mariota, at one point throughout the game, he was playing like he belonged where he at as far as his position. You know, he was playing like, yo, this is me, this is my team, I got it. And then it was other times where it was like, bruh, sit him down, coach. You know, but he brought them back within one possession. And was an inch away from completing a pass to, you know, take that lead, but he didn't. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. What you take away from this game?
Atlanta, still Atlanta.
Atlanta still trash.
They can find a way to lose. They're gonna lose. I don't really take too much away from it. The Rams done what they were supposed to do. Atlanta covered the spread though.
Yeah.
You know, so I had the game over. Matthew Stafford, over 275 passing yards. I want to say 272 passing yards.
I'll tell you one thing. Stafford did what he was supposed to do to a degree.
He did.
And Cooper Kupp, as consistent as it get, you know, still over 100 yards. I think he's gonna probably finish up there like he. Not where he was last year, but
some people that's playing a little bit higher, at a higher level. The Stephon Diggs is one of them.
Yeah. I just know his quarterback rely on him more.
Yeah, and Stephon Diggs quarterback rely on him more. He don't really have too many other weapons outside of him.
We got Gabriel Davis. Gabriel Davis the one showed up for him week 1. All right. Okay. We had a conference game in the NFC West. San Francisco took on Seattle, and for us, it's one of those more difficult games to play. Of course, it was a tough pill to swallow, tough view to watch when Trey Lance got hurt from San Francisco running him to death. But it was also a relief that Jimmy Garoppolo was still on the bench waiting for him to get hurt, as if they knew he was going to get hurt. What you take away from this game, as far as remember at one point, I think we beat Seattle the last 15 or something like that, 3 of the last 15. So you know we
2 out of the last 17 to be exact.
Oh damn, that's even worse. Well, now it's 3 out of the last 18. So you know. Did you take away anything significant? Now, I believe the last podcast we had, I mentioned, you know, somebody was speaking highly of Geno, and I was like, well, Geno ain't had a real defense in his face yet. You know, he did this time.
Oh, is that what happened?
Oh, yeah. And then he had Jimmy G on the other side of the ball.
I think that was more the case than the other part of the story. But I kind of said that Jimmy G would probably be in about week 3.
Yeah, you did, and we were saying week 4. So that's fact. That my man demise is starting away.
I ain't expecting the man to get injured, but I expected Jimmy G to make a appearance somewhere between week 1 and 3.
I'll tell you one thing, and I know it's a long shot, but if Jimmy G lead us to the Super Bowl, what problems does that create for San Francisco? Do you still move on from Jimmy G if we get back to where we were last year?
It's gonna be hard.
Oh yeah,
It should have been hard already, but it's definitely gonna be hard because you're not gonna be able to convince the other guys in that locker room
Nope.
that that's the best move.
Nope, you're 100% right. Because I can tell you right now, no chance. No chance. I need Jimmy personally.
Mm-hmm.
I notice our offense is different with Trey Lance. We've run with him more than anything. With Jimmy, you got to actually call him.
Right.
Significant play. All right, Houston and Denver. That was a tough pill to watch. It was a tough game to watch. The fans was booing, and Denver was playing like crap in the first 3 quarters, and I guess they decided to amp it up some. What you think about Russell Wilson and the way he's been playing the game with Denver as opposed to how he played with Seattle?
I think the first game he looked pretty good against Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
This game, not so much. The personnel is different.
Right. Personnel.
And I think Jared Judah got hurt, which doesn't help.
He did, yeah.
You know, because you got kind of the same makeup of receivers. You got a big receiver like he had in Seattle, and then you got a fast receiver in Jared Judah like he had with Tyler Lockett. So the personnel kind of mirrors one another.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got a pretty solid run game in Denver, but they got a first-year head coach, and he got to figure out some things about the NFL.
Right. Well, I mean, it's about that time, man. I just feel like I had higher expectations for Denver.
Mm-hmm. That was your Super Bowl.
Right. And I ain't gonna fall back on it. No, I'm gonna stay with it in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely had better expectations. I expected Russell Wilson to play a little better, but again, it's only week 2.
Right,
so,
he'll figure it out.
Right.
I expected their defense to be a little better.
I expected that too. I think that was like, I wasn't worried about Russell Wilson. I was more focused on they don't need him. The defense to do what they do, and he just gonna get them over the hump.
Right. That ain't gonna work against Buffalo.
No,
the Chargers, Kansas City.
Not in that division at all. Not even the Raiders. Truthfully,
The Raiders, they 0-2.
Yeah, they are. They are.
They 0-2, ain't
they? Yeah.
Cincinnati 0-2.
Yep.
Tennessee 0-2.
Yep.
A lot of playoff teams from last year is sitting right now at a 0-2.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if this was last year, they'd be 0-1. More games.
Mm-hmm.
More games to play.
This year?
Yeah.
It's the same amount as last year.
Oh, they started it last year.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's more playoff games, right? More playoff teams.
I think they're the same too this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
They expanded. I want to say last year. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of the Raiders, the Raiders blew a game.
Poor Raiders.
They blew the game against Kyler Murray. I watched Kyler Murray go stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He held the ball for every bit of 35.
Oh, man. On the 2-point conversion?
Yeah. On the 2-point conversion. He just stood it. At one point, I was just looking like, yo, what is happening? How my man just standing there? Like, he was just standing there. He wasn't doing the Tom Brady jump or nothing. He was just standing there like, y'all ain't going to get open. And then he just said, you know what?
I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself. And, man.
That he was playing Sandlot.
That pushed him. But something that stood out was Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow fumbled twice. Back to back.
Trying to get a game away.
Literally. And the way the fumbles were is like they're unavoidable. Like, I mean, Arizona just played the shit out of them in those moments. You know what I'm saying? But for it to happen to the same person 2 times in a row, if you the coach, what you telling Hunter?
Ain't much to say. Game over. He blew it. And good game, Arizona.
Good game, Arizona. Hey, sometimes it
pull him to the side and say, now you see why we throw the ball to Devontae Adams all the time. Because of shit like this.
Because of shit. Hey, My man was just dropping, or he was just getting the ball at the most pivotal moments of the game. Like, they done fought back. They done kicked onside kicks and all types of stuff, and they just gave the game away. Terrible.
Typical Raiders.
Sound like it. And then Sunday night finish with Green Bay and Chicago. That one as expected. I think I expected Aaron Rodgers to do a little more than he did.
Right.
But when you got Aaron Jones running the ball the way he was running the ball,
they said they was going to try to effectively run the ball this season and try to get away from making Aaron throw the ball as much. I think he was happy to see Alan Lazard come back.
Yep. But Sammy Watkins was the receiver of the night.
Mm-hmm.
He finished with 93 receiving yards out of Aaron Rodgers' 234. But, again, it's Aaron Jones who finished with 132 rushing yards and multiple rushing touchdowns. So that is what I feel like was the difference maker in that game. And then they was playing Chicago. So, Chicago ain't really the weakest team, but they not the best. And that's another team that I picked.
They're closer to the weakest than they is the best.
But they 1-1, and we took a L to them.
Yeah, that's. You say your man couldn't throw in the rain. Or he couldn't play in the rain.
I don't know. He can't seem to do much. But that's okay. I'm good with it. Sometimes you gotta get that first L out the way. Get that first L gone. We on. And then, of course, we had Thursday, which was Kansas City and the Chargers. That was a great game. I think we talked about that last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo and Tennessee was on Monday, along with Philly and Minnesota. Both of those games went according to plan. So it was no real surprises there. I mean, I guess if it was, it'll be Jalen Hurts and how well he played.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, Buffalo had reserves in the fourth quarter, pretty much the whole fourth quarter. Minnesota couldn't do nothing. Justin Jefferson was quiet as a mouse.
Kirk Cousins trash on Monday night, man.
Kirk Cousins, it's weird for him to be trash on a night. Like, that's, bruh.
On Monday night, man, that man is horrible.
Kirk got to do better. He got to do better. Primetime game should be the most.
That's when you're supposed to show out.
Exactly. But
especially when you got a star like Justin Jefferson on the side. And then they only ran Dalvin Cook 6 times. And Kirk threw 101 interceptions.
I don't understand what it is that they want from the offense if they're not utilizing the tools that they have appropriate.
Keep losing like they lost.
We'll see. This Thursday we got Pittsburgh and Cleveland. I think time before last when they met, they was throwing helmets and stuff like that. But at this point, they both in trash mode. They both need quarterbacks. The running game is substantial. I think Deontay Johnson is coming into his own. Who you got? Well, I ain't gonna say who you got winning this game, but what's your thoughts on this game?
Why are they showing
it? Why is it on Thursday?
If they knew, but Thursday, to be honest, Thursday is the perfect day for it because Thursday is the day with the most boringest games of football.
Okay.
On TV most of the time. I think they tried to get away from that this year by trying to schedule a little marquee matchups. But if you knew Deshaun Watson won't play and you knew that the Steelers had Mitchell Trubisky playing, why would you schedule this game and force the world to watch it?
Yeah.
So I got to be in a typical Thursday night game between two bombs.
I can dig it. All right, so let's take another break. We got some a little bit of college football coming up, and we got some boxing coming up, and some rank 'em, and then we got the Guru's pick of the day. BetMoorSports. We'll be back. Welcome back to the BetMoorSports podcast. I'm your host, Avery Fuller, with my co-host, Steven Troutman Bay, a.k.a.
The Guru.
And we back again. And this week is fight week. Fight week for my man Shakur Stevenson fighting on Friday Night Fights on ESPN. But that's not the highlight of the fight. The highlight of the fight is Norfolk's own Keyshawn Davis going 8 rounds. And one thing that I've begin to do is look forward to Keyshawn fights. Keyshawn, the last fight, he was just, first off, the trunks was ill. But he just beat dude up so bad. I can't think of which episode it was, but we kind of showed the highlight of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how far he can actually go. But it's also on the Shakur Stevenson card. So
Right.
That's going to say a lot to me personally. It's Friday Night Fights, but I'm tuning in. What about you?
I'm going to tune in as well, man. We might have a few surprises for you.
All right. You make sure you tune in. For sure. Tune in. All right. So, y'all make sure that y'all go and visit the BetMoorSports website, www.betmoorsports.com. Subscribe for all your college picks, your NFL picks, your MLB picks, any sport that we provide picks for.
Hockey,
that's where you're
hockey
going to go.
getting underway. Preseason hockey about to start real soon, so hockey is about to crank up.
And you know what hockey did last year? Oh, yes.
They're excited about hockey this year.
You better believe it. More people watched hockey last year than. All right, so let's bring back Rank 'em. Rank 'em this week. We're gonna focus on the NFL and kind of like how Stephen A. do his A list for the teams for the week or whatever. We're going to do rank them, but we're going to kind of rank our top 5 teams in the NFL right now. All right, and so what I'm going to do is, Guru, I'm going to start with you. What's your first or your top 5?
Buffalo,
Uh-huh.
Kansas City,
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay.
Okay.
And who is the 5th best team right now? I don't want to say Miami. I don't want to say Baltimore because they just lost to Miami. But, I mean, I would probably still throw either Baltimore or the Rams in there.
Okay. That's not bad. I mean, the Rams seem to get consideration consistently regardless because they won.
Defending champ.
I got Buffalo at number 1, Kansas City number 2. But I got Miami in there at number 3.
Mm.
And I got Baltimore in there at number 4. And then Tampa Bay.
Sound like you left somebody out.
I probably did. But
Sound like you left somebody out that definitely should have been in there. But that's not bad. You said Kansas City, right?
yep, I left Philly out.
Oh, you left Philly out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, but again, Philly is 6, LA Chargers is 7.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I think Philly still just got a little more to show.
Right.
You know. Next up, we got MVP candidates. Who do you have as your top 5 MVP candidates to this point?
Josh Allen.
Okay.
Pat Mahomes.
Okay.
I'm going to say Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I know it's a long shot and it probably won't happen, but Michael Parsons.
Okay.
He's playing out
Phenomenal.
of his mind on
Yeah.
defense. And probably Saquon Barkley.
I mean, listen, that's viable though. Like I can't argue it. If I argued it at this point, I'd just be arguing it just for the hell of it. You know what I'm saying? I got Patrick Mahomes first.
Mm-hmm.
I got Josh Allen second. Lamar Jackson. Then I got Tua. And then
Tua rising up the charts.
yep, he is. And then I have to say Justin Herbert.
I need to see how Justin Herbert come back from that injury.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't puncture his
'Cause
lung.
he looked really bad
Yeah.
after the hit.
And he got right back up and started playing, but man,
Took another hit.
took another hit. That's that is not the best experience ever, in my opinion, of course. Okay, so with that said, let's jump right to it. And now it's time for the Guru's pick of the day.
The Guru's pick of the day is Coastal Carolina minus a point and a half over Georgia State. And over. I like it over 62. Last year, Georgia State went into Coastal Carolina and knocked off a pretty good Coastal Carolina team. They're not looking as good this season. Georgia State is on 3, and Coastal Carolina is 3-0, but Coastal Carolina didn't look very impressive in their 3 wins. So I got them going into Georgia State on tonight and looking for a revenge game, and we expect a lot of points. Like I say, last year was 42-40, so I expect a little bit of the same, but Coastal Carolina to come out on the winning end. So take Coastal Carolina minus a point and a half and over 62. Take
And
everything you can big bond steal and put that 2 pick in.
And that's your Guru's pick of the day. You better get it and get money. You also better tune in because the Guru and the Swami is going to be putting out their picks at some point too. But that's it, man. That's week 20, episode 28. 28. That's a lot.
It's a lot, man. We climbing on up.
Climbing on up. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all comment. Anything you disagree with, comment. I like it. I prefer it.
Mm-hmm.
Questions, whatever. Make sure y'all hit up the BetMoorSports.com. BetMoorSports on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Join the BetMoorSports group on Facebook. And make sure you go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. With that said, it's been a great night. We are out of here. BetMoorSports, we out of here. Peace.
Till next time.